Hey guys, super stoked to be making another video for you. In this week's video, I just want to share a bunch of tips with you guys that will make your life on the bike easier and also help you a lot. So here goes 10 tips in 6 minutes. Okay, so let's start with tip number 1. I want to talk about tubeless. At some point, you're going to put a new tire on your bike, you're going to maybe put a new wheel set on your bike, and you're going to want to convert that to tubeless. Now, one of the things that I've struggled mostly in my career was to seat a new tire on the rim. Sometimes I couldn't even do it, even using compressor pumps. So here's a tip that you guys can do. When you put on the new rim tape, obviously you'll take the old tape off, you'll clean the rim, and you'll put the new tape on. In my case, I just use duct tape. It's cheap and it's super easy to size also to the size of the rim. I'll put it around, and then what I'll do is I'll put a couple of extra layers around to make it bulge out a bit thicker. That way, when you put your tire on with the sealant, it's going to seal off before the tire is even pumped up, and you can simply pump it up with a normal pump. Works like a bomb. Number 2, doesn't matter what discipline of mountain biking you take part in. If your question is, should I get a dropper post? The answer is always yes, absolutely. Tip number 3, if you are using cleats and you are using the small cleat pedals, for example, Crank Brothers Egg Beaters or the normal Shimano cleats, doesn't matter if you are a cross-country rider, I personally would recommend using a cleat with a platform around, for example, the Shimano DX or the Crank Brothers Mallet pedal. Because in a case where you uncleat and you can't get clipped back in, for example in a rock garden or whatever the case might be, you've got a platform to step on, especially when it's wet. This is important and it'll save you a lot of pain. Okay, tip number 4. If you're ever trying a new jump or a new drop for the first time, pump your tires harder. Go up in tire pressure, harder than you normally would ride. That'll keep you safer, it'll keep you more straight. Thank me later. Tip number 5. The best skills to learn or to improve yourself at is cornering and bunny hopping. Those 2 skills will make the biggest difference in your mountain biking. Okay, so tip number 6. If you ever get bucked on a jump, the general consensus would be to make the rebound on the rear of the bike slower, because you think it's the rebound that's too fast on the back that's bucking the bike up. This is actually the opposite of what is happening. It's actually the rebound that is too slow at the back that compresses when you hit the lip, and before it goes over the lip, your suspension packs and it can't actually absorb the lip, which makes your bike become more like a hardtail, and that's what's bucking you. So actually you should be going faster in your rebound so that the rear suspension can absorb the lip, and then you won't get bucked so much. Alright, tip number 7. If you ever arrive at a place and it starts raining or it's wet and you're unprepared in terms of you don't have a mud guard on your bike, which means mud and water is going to go flying into your eyes the whole time. Here's how to make a ghetto mud guard that works like a bomb. Get an old piece of tube or any soft material, flap it open, cut holes in the corners, put some zip ties through it, and then what you do is you put it over the opening of your fork. I'll show an example of it. Tighten the cable ties over the crown and over your brace at the bottom, and voila, you have a mud guard that's going to keep your eyes clean throughout the whole ride. Tip number 8. If you have foam grips or rubber slide-on grips, get rid of those and get yourself some proper lock-on grips. This will make the whole bike feel better and will also make your life much easier. Tip number 9. If you insist on riding with foam grips or normal rubber slide-on grips, each to their own, they could be quite a pain to get onto the bike. Removal is usually quite easy because you normally cut off the old grips or however you do it, but to get on could be quite hard. So here's what you do. You take normal Axe deodorant spray, you spray it inside of the grip, and the grips will simply slide on. The Axe will evaporate after a couple of minutes, and the grips will stick to the bar super nicely. Alright, last but not least, tip number 10. If you're not sure what bar width you should be riding, and you feel like you want to test different bar widths, instead of cutting your bar immediately, what you can do is you can get a pair of grips that are open on the sides. And let's say, for example, your bar is 800, you could move each grip in by 1 centimeter, which makes your bar now 780. You can move your levers in by the same distance, and now you've got a 780 handlebar. You can go to 760, 770, 790, whatever you want to test. It's a great way to test which bar width works best for you without cutting the bar. And once you know, okay, this is the one, you can cut your bar, and there you go. So guys, I hope these tips were helpful. I'm looking forward to making another video for you guys. See you next time.